Hello, future teachers. Have you ever wondered about your process that you go to become a professional teacher? No. So let me introduce to you the Module 30. Here, the Module 30, with the title of Teacher Welfare and Privileges, the Magna Carta for Public School Teacher, or that's we call the Republic Act 4670, which decided on June 18, 1996. And let's now proceed to the introduction of Republic Act 4670.
Welfare benefits for teachers may be different among private schools because it is the board of directors of each individual schools which sets its own welfare benefit system. For public schools, welfare benefits are basically identical, some undertaken by separate organizations and some other handled by agencies which concurrently take care of welfare benefits for other civil service employees. Privilege, simply put, is societally granted unearned advantages according to some people and not others. Generally, when we talk about privilege, we are referring to a systemic or structural advantages that impact people based on identity factors such as race, gender, sex, religion, nationality, disability, sexuality, class, and body type. We might also include level of education and other factors of societal capital under the umbrella of privilege.
And let's now hear in learning objective. At the end of the unit, the pre-service teacher or PST, or the first one is explain the teacher welfare and privileges, the Magna Carta for Public School Teachers or Republic Act 4670, and lastly is discuss the importance of Magna Carta for Public School Teacher or Republic Act 4670. And here in the content, teacher welfare and privileges, the Magna Carta for Public School Teachers or Republic Act 4670, the Magna Carta for Public School Teacher or Republic Act 4670. And let's now talk about the declaration of the policy coverage.
Section 1 of the Magna Carta for Public School Teachers, RA 4670, serves as the cornerstone, outlining the legislative intent and fundamental principles guiding the protection and promotion of public school teachers' rights and welfare in the Philippines. This declaration of policy underscores the government's commitment to upholding the dignity, honor, and professionalism of teaching professions, recognizing its indispensable role in nation building and the development of an educated citizenry. Furthermore, it establishes the comprehensive scope of the law, extending its provisions to all public school teachers, regardless of rank, employment status, or specialization, thereby ensuring equitable treatment and support for educators across the country. In essence, Section 1 sets the overarching framework for the subsequent provisions aimed at enhancing the status, welfare, and professional growth of the public school teachers, thereby fostering a conducive environment for quality education and lifelong learning. Section 2, Title Definition. This act shall be known as the Magna Carta for Public School Teachers and shall apply to all public school teachers except those in professorial staff of state colleges and universities. Section 2 of the Magna Carta for Public School Teachers, RA 4670, provides the title and definition crucial for understanding the law's scope and application. It clarifies key terms and concepts used throughout the legislation, ensuring consistency and clarity in its interpretation and implementation. This section lays the foundation for subsequent provisions by establishing a common understanding of the terms used within the Magna Carta for Public School Teachers. Section 3, Recruitment and Qualification. Recruitment policy with respect to the selection and appointment of teachers shall be clearly defined by the Department of Education. Section 3 of the Magna Carta for Public School Teachers outline the recruitment policy and minimum educational qualifications for teacher applicants in the Philippines. The Department of Education defines the recruitment policy, while the legislation specifies the minimum educational requirements for different teaching levels and specializations. It allows for temporary appointment for applicants who do not meet the minimum qualifications in the absence of qualified candidates. Competitive examinations may be required with preference given to candidates based on their ranks, results of examinations are made public and applicants receive their scores and ranks. Section 4, Probationary Period. When recruitment takes place after adequate training and professional preparation in any school recognized by the government, no probationary period preceding regular appointment shall be imposed if the teacher possesses the appropriate civil service eligibility. Section 4 of the Magna Carta for Public School Teachers, RA 4670, likely pertains to the probationary period for newly hired teachers in the public school system. It is likely outlined the duration and condition of this probationary period during which teachers may undergo evaluation and assessment to determine their suitability for permanent employment. This section may also detail the rights and responsibilities of both teachers and administrators during the probationary period, including provisions for mentorship and support for professional development. Section 5, Tenure of Office. Stability on employment and security of tenure shall be assured the teachers as provided under existing laws. Section 5 of the Magna Carta for Public School Teachers, RA 4670, likely addresses the tenure of office for educators in the Philippine public school system. This section is crucial as it may detail the rights and protections afforded to the teachers once they have completed their probationary period and attain permanent status. It may outline the conditions under which teachers can be dismissed or terminated, as well as procedures for addressing grievance or dispute related to employment. Additionally, Section 5 may also specify the criteria and process for granting tenure to qualified teachers, ensuring stability and continuity in the teaching profession.
Section 6, which is concept of transportation expenses. First is we have transfer procedures. The policy on consent for transportation expenses outline the condition for teacher transfers, emphasizing the needs for consent and fair procedures. Next, we have consent requirements. Teachers cannot be transferred without consent unless justified by service needs. The school superintendent must notify and provide reason for the transfer, allowing teachers to appeal to designated authorities. Next is fair process. The policy ensures the fairness by allowing teachers to challenge transfers they deem unjustified. It provides a transparent process with appeals to the higher authorities. Teachers' appeals. The teacher have the right to appeal transfers they disagree with, ensuring their voices are heard. The policy protects teachers' interests and provides a mechanism for resources. Expenses coverage. The government covers necessary transfer expenses for teacher and their families if the transfer is approved. The support eases the financial burden of regulations. Next is policy safeguard. The consent for transportation expenses policy prioritizes the teacher consent and fair procedures in the transfers. It provides financial assistance and the transfers appeal process, safeguarding teachers' rights and well-being. Section 7. The Professional Conduct Standards. The Code of Professional Conduct for Public School Teachers aims to establish the ethical standards for educators. It is crucial for promoting professionalism and integrity within the teaching professions. Next is Code Development Timeline. The Secretary of Education must develop the code within 6 months of the Act's approval. This timeline ensures the timely establishment of clear conduct guidelines for teachers. Next is Conduct Enforcement. Each teacher will receive a copy of the code, with provision for depositing copies at the schools lacking resources. This ensures accessibility and adherence to the teacher's professional conduct standards. Next is Professionalism Promotion. The code guides the teacher behavior and upholds professional standards. It benefits the education system by fostering a culture of accountability and excellence among educators. Next is code enforcement. The school administrators plays a key role in enforcing the code's standards. Compliance mechanisms and consequences for violations are essentials for upholding professional conduct. Next is stakeholder involvement. Teachers, school administrators, education officials, and parents are key stakeholders in implementing the code. Their perspective and involvement are crucial for maintaining professional conduct in schools. And lastly is implementation strategies. Training session on the code, regular reviews, and reporting mechanism for violation are essential for effective implementation. These measures ensure understanding, adherence, and accountability. And now, we are in the section 8. First, we have disciplinary procedures. Safeguard in disciplinary procedures ensure fairness for teachers, protecting their rights and due process. Next, we have right protection. Teachers have the right to charge evidence defense with representation and appeal to designated authorities for transparency and fairness. Next, we have fair process. These safeguards guarantee a fair process, emphasizing transparency and accountability. Next, we have advocacy support. Representation provides support and advocacy for teachers in disciplinary proceedings. Next, we have review rights. Appeal rights allow teachers to challenge decisions and seek review for oversight and fairness. Next, we have privacy protection. Maintaining confidentiality protects teachers' privacy and reputation during disciplinary actions. And lastly, we have safeguard adherence. Adhering to the safeguard is crucial for fair and transparent disciplinary procedures.
For Section 9 Administrative Charges, for initial hearing, when administrative charges are brought against a teacher, they are first reviewed by a committee. For chairperson, the committee is led by the school superintendent of the division or an authorized representative with at least the rank of division supervisor. For representation, the committee includes a representative from a local, provincial, or national teachers organization, ensuring diverse perspective. For supervisor, another member is a supervisor from the division, ensuring administrative oversight. Appointment. Both the teachers organization representative and the division supervisor are appointed by the director of public schools. For reporting deadline, the committee must present its findings and recommendations to the director of public schools within 30 days after the hearing concludes. And for the last one, conflict of interest. If the superintendent is the complainant or has an interest in the case, the Secretary of Education appoints all committee members to ensure impartiality. For Section 10, no discrimination, there shall be no discrimination whatsoever in entrance to the teaching profession or during its exercise or in the termination of services based on other than professional consideration. For non-discrimination principle, discrimination in any form is prohibited at all stages of the teaching profession. For entrance equality, applicants to the teaching profession must not face discrimination based on anything other than professional qualifications. For equality in employment, once employed, teachers should not face discrimination during their work based on personal characteristics unrelated to their professional performance. For fair termination, if termination of services occurs, it must be solely based on professional considerations and not due to discriminatory factors. And for the last one, comprehensive protection. This principle ensures equal treatment for all individuals involved in the teaching profession, safeguarding against discrimination in any aspects of their career. For Section 11, married teachers, whenever possible, the proper authorities shall take all steps to enable married couples, both of whom are public school teachers, to be employed in the same locality. For support for married couples, authorities aim to facilitate employment for married couples who are both public school teachers. And for locational consideration, efforts are made to assign both spouses to teaching positions within the same locality. And for promotion of family cohesion, the initiative aims to promote family unity by minimizing geographical separation caused by employment. And for administrative facilitation, proper authorities are tasked with implementing policies and procedures to make this arrangement feasible whenever possible. And for the last one, enhancing work-life balance by enabling spouses to work in the same locality, the policy supports teacher in maintaining a healthier work-life balance. For Section 12, academic freedom, teachers should enjoy academic freedom in the discharge of their professional duties, particularly with regard to teaching and classroom methods. For teacher autonomy, teachers have the right to academic free in carrying out their professional responsibilities. For teaching flexibility, this freedom extends specifically to teaching methods and approaches used in the classroom. For protection of pedagogical choices, teachers are empowered to make decisions about how they deliver educational content tailored to the needs of their students. For intellectual independence, academic freedom allows educators to explore diverse perspectives and innovative teaching techniques without undue constraint. And for the last one, fostering creativity, the policy encourages teachers to experiment with instructional strategies to enhance learning outcomes and student engagement. For Section 13, teacher hours. For maximum teaching hours, teachers conducting classroom instruction are limited to a maximum of 6 hours per day. And for preparation time, scheduling allows teacher adequate time for preparing lessons, grading assignments, and other related tasks. And for exigencies clause, in exceptional circumstances, teachers may be required to teach more than 6 hours up to a maximum of 8 hours per day. For compensation for extra hours, teachers working beyond the 6-hour limit are entitled to additional compensation, including their regular pay, plus at least a 25% increase in basic pay. For the last one, fairness and compensation, this policy aims to balance workload demands with fair compensation for teachers, recognizing the importance of their time and effort in fulfilling their teaching duties. And for Section 14, additional compensation, for additional compensation for extra activities teachers involved in curricular, out-of-school, or other non-teaching duties receive at least a 25% increase in regular pay after completing 6 hours of classroom teaching, such as same with the last, fairness and compensation for Section 13. And next is compensation for non-teaching staff. Other schools or school officials not engaged in classroom instruction receive at least a 25% increase in regular, same as from above. And next one is payment responsibility. The agencies utilizing teacher services are responsible for paying the additional compensation outlined in the section. And for protection of teachers' rights, education authorities are tasked with ensuring that teachers are fairly compensated for services provided to other government agencies, safeguarding their remuneration as stipulated in this section. And for the last one, fairness and recognition, this policy acknowledges the extra effort and time teachers dedicate to activities beyond regular classroom teaching and ensures they are appropriately compensated for their contributions.
Let's now hear in section 15, teacher salaries. First bullet, which is criteria for salary, which is teacher salaries aim for fairness and competitiveness to attract and retain educators. Second bullet's comparison with other occupation, which is competitive salaries. Salaries should match similar profession to retain skilled teachers. And the third bullet, which is ensuring reasonable standard of living, which is financial stability. Teacher salary must support and decent life of educators and their families. And second to the last bullet, proper grading and recognition of qualification. Fair compensation. Salary should reflect qualification and responsibility for fair compensation. And then the last bullet, which is maintaining and balanced salary scale, which is equity and professionalism. Balancing salary ranges ensure equity and professionalism, narrowing the scale of fairness. Let's now hear in section 16, salary scale. The first bullet, salary scale policy. This policy on salary scale for teacher ensure a gradual progression from minimum to maximum salary through regular increments. This structure approach aims to incentivize performance and provide financial stability for educators. Second bullet, automatic increments, which is efficiency ratings. Teachers receive automatic increments every 3 years, contingent on maintaining at least a satisfactory efficiency rating. This system rewards longevity and performance in teaching. Lastly, progression period, which is salary advancement. This progression from minimum to maximum salary should not exceed a period of 10 years, setting a reasonable time frame for salary advancement and recognizing teachers' dedication and growth. It's now here in section 17, equality in salary scale. The first bullet, equality in salary scale. The policy ensures that teachers funded by local governments receive salaries equal to those of national government teachers. Second bullet, fair compensation. It upholds the principle of equal pay for equal work, ensuring fair compensation regardless of funding source. The third bullet, implication for local government teachers, which is fairness in salaries. Teachers funded locally receive salaries at least equivalent to national government teachers, promoting fairness. Next one is promoting fairness and professionalism, which is professionalism in compensation. Maintaining equal salary scale foster fairness, professionalism, and consistent in teacher compensation. The next one is compliance and oversight, which is monitoring compliance. Mechanism, monitor compliance, ensuring local government teachers receive competitive salaries. Next one is challenges and solutions, which is addressing disparities, addressing budget constraints and disparities, ensure equality in salary scale. The second to the last, which is impact on teacher retention, which is teacher stability. Equal salary scale support teacher retention by providing stability and recognition. Lastly, compensation promotion. The policy promotes fair compensation, professionalism, and teacher retention in education sector.
118. Allowance for cost of living. At the absolute least, teacher pay must increase in the line with the cost of living by the insurance of cost of living allowance that will automatically adjust in accordance with index of cost of living. Section 19. Special payment for hardship in situation where educators encounter challenges like in traveling to the workplace or other risks specific to the job site. As established by the Secretary of Education, they will get exceptional hardship payment that amount of minimum of 25% of their pay each month.
Section 20. Salaries to paid in legal tender. This Section 20 law states the teacher salaries in the Philippines must be paid in the official currency of the country, which is legal tender. Alternatively, salaries can be paid in the form of checks of treasury warrants that hold the same value as legal tender. However, it is important to note that these checks or treasury warrants must be able to be cashed at any national, provincial, city, or municipality treasurer office, as well as at any banking institution that operates within the laws of Republic of the Philippines. This ensures that teachers can easily access and use their salaries for their financial needs. Let's now hear in Section 21, Deduction Prohibited. This Section 21 states that no deduction can be made from the salaries of teachers unless there is specific law authorizing such a deduction. However, there are two exceptions to this rule. The first one is with the written authorization of the teacher, deduction can be made for the full dues and fees owed to the Philippine Public Teachers Association. And lastly is premiums that are rightfully due on insurance policies that authorize deduction are considered acceptable and can be made from the teacher's salaries. Here in Section 22, Medical Examination and Treatment. This Section 22 stipulates that teachers in the Philippines are entitled to compulsory and free medical examination before they start their teaching careers. This medical examination must be repeated at least once a year throughout the teacher professional's life. If the medical examination reveals the need for medical treatment or hospitalization, the government entity responsible for paying the teacher's salaries must provide these services free of charge. In regions where there is a shortage of medical facilities, teachers have the right to seek medical care elsewhere. The government entity mentioned in the first paragraph of the section is obligated to reimburse the teachers of their traveling expenses incurred in obtaining the necessary medical care. Now here in Section 23, Compensation for Injuries. This Section 23 ensures that teachers in the Philippines are safeguarded against the consequences of work-related existing laws. They are entitled to protection and compensation in accordance with the existing law. The law recognizes the physical and nervous strain experienced by teachers can have detrimental effects on their health. Consequently, these effects are considered compensable occupational disease under the existing law. This provision aims to provide support and assistance to teachers who suffer for injuries or health issues resulting from their work. Let's now hear in Section 24, Study Leave. This Section 24 grants teachers in public school the privilege of study leave, which can last for up to 1 school year after completing 7 years of service. The Department of Education set the schedule for granting this leave. During the study leave period, teachers are entitled to receive a last 60% of their monthly salary. However, teachers are not allowed to accumulate more than 1 year of study leave unless they require an additional semester to complete their thesis for a graduate study in education or related fields. After the first year of the study leave, no compensation is due to the teacher. It is important to note that the study leave period is considered in calculating seniority and pension benefits. To be eligible for the compensation allowed during 1 year of the study leave, teachers must take a regular study load and pass at least 75% of their courses. Study leave exceeding 1 year may be granted by the Secretary of Education. But without compensation, this provision encourages the teachers to pursue further education and professional development while ensuring the study leave is balanced with their responsibility and commitments. Let's now hear in Section 25, Indefinite Leave. This Section 25 provides that teacher in the Philippines can be granted an indefinite sick leave of absence when they require extensive treatment for an illness that is expected to last for at least 1 year. This provision acknowledges the need for teachers to prioritize their health and well-being, allowing them to take the necessary time of the focus on the recovery without the pressure of returning to work within a specific time frame. It ensures that teachers have the support and flexibility they need to address their health concern effectively.
Section 26, Paying Increase upon retirement. Teachers in public schools who meet the requirements for age and service upon retirement, a single range pay increase will be granted in accordance with the applicable retirement rules, which will serve as foundation for calculating both the initial large sum of retirement pay and the rest of the monthly payments. Section 27. The ability to organize. Teachers in public schools shall be able to freely and without consent rights to form and join any local or national groups they choose in order to further and uphold their rights. Section 28. Discriminations against educators is provided the rights outlined in the directly previous. This section may be used without hindrance or compulsion. It is against the law for anyone to commit any actions taken against educators with the intention of, first, making their job a matter of concern subject to the requirement that he neither form an organization nor give up his membership in one. Second, to intimidate or otherwise harm an educator because of his affiliation with an either as a result of involvement in extracurricular organization activities or with the permission of the appropriate school's authorities during school hours. And third, to stop him from executing the responsibilities assigned to him by his position within the company or to punish him for a decision he made in that role. Section 29. National Associations of Teachers. The National Association of Teachers will be consulted in the creation of national professional standards and educational policies, as well as in the creation of national regulations controlling teachers' social securities.
Section 30. Rules and Regulation. It refers to a specific section within a set of rules or regulations such as legal documents or organizational guidelines. However, in general, Section 30 would contain provisions, requirements, or guidelines related to a particular aspect of the subject. Section 31, Budgetary Estimates, is usually outlines the specific details or allocations within a budget. It might cover the expenses, revenues, or appropriations of various departments, programs, or projects. Section 32, Penal Provision. These involve the implementations and oversight of penalties outlined in that section. It establishes penalties for such actions including fines, imprisonment, or dismissal from government service if the offender is a public official. Section 33, Repealing Clause. This section typically outlines the procedures or repealing or revoking existing laws and replacing them with updated ones. Section 34, Separability Clause. These sections help to maintain the validity and enforceable of the law even if certain proportions are challenged or stopped down. Section 35. Section 35 states that this act shall take effect upon its approval. It indicates that the law or regulations outlined in the act became effective immediately after it is approved.